Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey. Welcome back to our talk geared to some of my young viewers. And what I want to talk to you about, we've been talking about Timothy, the young protege of Paul the Apostle. And we talked last time about Paul warning him not to believe the lies. But there was another thing. Timothy was a young man when he began to take in positions of authority. He was a pastor of a church, and a fledgling church. And like I said before, remember that this was the early days. They did not have a Bible. It wasn't a case that they were looking at the Bible. They had Scripture in the sense that they had the much of the Old Testament and the prophets of the Old Testament, but they did not have a complete book which was called the Bible that they were using. But Paul, when he wrote his letters, he wrote them to be read to the whole church. That they were letters of teaching that were spread around that they could do. But being a young person in that kind of position of authority, and Timothy, I'm sure, faced the same problem that many young people who take in a leadership role of any kind, excuse me, face, is he had to deal with people older than him looking down on him. And Paul told him, excuse me, not to let people look down on his youth. And I say the same to you. Don't let people look down on your youth. Don't let people look at you and say, well, you're young, you don't know anything. That's not true. You're young, yes, but you know a lot. That there is no reason that a young person can't learn and grow independently from some of the systems that were given and be well educated. I've had the privilege of knowing some young people who have been just incredibly brilliant people. I mean, I've seen them where they were they had a great understanding of things. They knew how to articulate their thoughts and actions. They had a subject that they were passionate about and had great learning capacity in those areas. You can do this. I told you earlier on in one of the other videos that many young people are actually taught to be lazy. We're taught to be lazy because you're taught how to think. Not to think, you're taught how to think. And that gives laziness, because why should I bother to learn anything when they're going to tell me what I need to know? Well, you need to stand up and in a sense, rebel. You need to be able to look at things and say, I can learn this for myself. I can get my own better education. Because you can. Education, no matter how good it is, and I'm not bashing education. I believe in education. I think you should get as much education as you can. But no matter how good an education is, your best education will always come from yourself. It comes from your experience in the world, the things that you've read, the things that you're able to discover, the research you do into things. Never sell yourself short. You have a brilliant mind that God has given to you. Use it. And don't let people stand in your way of using it. Don't let people look down on you. Never buy the excuse you're too young, you don't understand. Because you can understand. You can have the proper understanding of things if you're willing to do the work to do it. Don't just fly off the handle and say, well, I'm going to believe what I want to believe no matter what anybody else says. Because that's foolishness too. Because you can learn from older people. Believe it or not, we've been around. And we've been through a lot of what you've gone through. And the advantage of listening to people who are older than you, especially if they have been through some of the life experiences that you hope to go through. If you have a particular area that you want to go into and be educated in, find people who have been experienced that. They're usually more than willing to share their knowledge. When you do that, it shows that you are much smarter than people will give you credit for. Don't let people look down on you, but you have to be willing to do that because you have proven yourself to be a thinking person. Not just because you're going to fuss and whine and say, don't look down on me, you know, you don't know what you're saying, I can do this myself, and all the other immature stuff that people do. No, when you don't let people look down on your youth, you do it because you can behave in a mature, sensible, thinking manner. And I know that you can do that. Until next time, for the Growth Center, this is John Patrick Hickey, and I do want to encourage you to please live your purpose and change your world.